Statue 175. Kind of doing unboxing. I don't normally do them, but the packaging on this is beautiful. This is from PrototypeZ. It's the quarter scale Ryu, and it's a box within a box, and it all within a box. And it also has fantastic foam rubber protective packaging. The base was in here, parts of the belt and his bandana. For, you know, there's two torsos, so there's two belts and two bandanas, and then here we have the rest of the body in like a silk packaging. And it also came, you know, there's the two parts that I've unboxed so far. Came with a cool art print. Box fell, nothing else, don't worry. But the packaging is really nice as well. We see with the graphic art in the front, and like nice touch. Metal corners, definitely heavy duty. I was just gonna pick up this box. Nothing major happened, don't worry. There was just slid off the water dryer. Just empty foam rubber there on cardboard, so nothing got damaged. But actually, let me just get this out of the way for a second to show you. Box back up here. Didn't want to stay up. Before any more damage and the box falls down again, but we can see how it's packaged in here nicely with the torsos and everything. No damage. Everything's nicely packaged. So I'm gonna unbox this and we'll get to the review. But look at that nice touch with the silk. It's like a felt silk in the heavy duty box with all the nice foam rubber packaging. So we'll see in just about 5 seconds if anything got damaged, but it looks like everything's perfectly safe. All right, okay, everyone, we're back. Statue 175 here with the PrototypeZ quarter scale Ryu from Street Fighter. I believe this is modeled after the Street Fighter 2 version of Ryu from the video game, the classic video game, Street Fighter 2. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, and Ryu, obviously Akuma is my favorite character, then Evil Ryu and Oni Akuma, and then, of course, Ryu. So he's up there and definitely in my top 5 characters. And this is a pretty cool art print that it comes with as well. I got number 82 out of 400 on the exclusive limited edition for the quarter scale white Ryu. And this, forgive me for not knowing, but I don't know who the artist was. That appears to be their signature, but it is really nice that they include the print. Always a nice touch. Now let's get on to this beautiful piece. Outstanding work by Erick Sosa as usual. Loving the base, loving the wood feel, almost like a Bruce Lee movie set kinda. Very Asian motif, Street Fighter-ish, with the symbols and the wood floor. I love the weathering, the paint job on the application. I mean, just to get into detail here is phenomenal. Looking at the veins, the bruises, the freckles, the toenails, the cuticles, just amazing work. I mean, those look like real toenails. Very good paint application from the factory used by Erick. Erick digitally sculpted this. Look at that. Look at the scrape on the ankle. I mean, not only does on the heel as well, there's a couple scratches. I mean, not only does the freckling and the veins look amazing and the toenails and everything, but the battle damage, the scrape. Very cool. The more and more I look at this piece, the more and more I like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a fan of this version of Ryu. I'm not a fan of the classic Ryu from Street Fighter 2. Although I probably played with him the most, I'm more of a fan of the Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 look of Ryu, of course. I like the more modern look of him, but the more and more I look at the statue, it's amazing. And I'm going to give an honest review. This was, like I said, digitally sculpted by Erick Sosa. Before I go through all the amazing pieces of the statue, I'm going to go through the one little negative. They probably could have did a better job with the gap there in between the hand. And it is glued. It's not a magnet or anything. That probably would be my only complaint, something like that. But and the only other thing would be, if this is Street Fighter 2 version of Ryu, I don't think that it should have the kanji symbols on the black belt for Ryu. I think that was incorporated in Street Fighter 4 and 5. I could be wrong, but and maybe I am wrong, because I think Capcom would have caught that, I would have hoped, but or maybe they didn't mind it. It looks cool. I like it. It's just not accurate, I don't believe. But I could be wrong. And those are the only two minor gripes that I have with this whole piece. So that's pretty amazing that those are my only gripes. I mean, the texturing on the gi, the weathering. I mean, let's get a real good focus on this. I mean, it is amazing. The way it looks like actual fabric is just so cool, because it's hard to get that with a full sculpt polystone. That's another thing. I'm a fan of mixed media. Most people aren't. Most people prefer this. Most people collectors prefer the full statue, full sculpt. A lot of people are very against mixed media, the fabric. I like the fabric on the statue. I think it's a nice added touch. I'm a fan of statues in general. I mean, I'm the statue hunter, for Christ's sake. I like both, to be honest. I like the full statue version is nice, especially when it's done like this and it looks real and it looks like fabric. But the actual fabric is also a nice touch that I like as well. Now, let's get into some more amazing stuff here. We were touching on the veins and the freckling and the dimples and the pitting of the skin and the realism and the look of it. I mean, look at that bruise on the elbow. This is the battle damaged. I started off with this. I like the actual regular top torso better, but I wanted to start with this first because there's a lot of detail in this. And I do like the Hadouken pose, how he's about to launch a Hadouken. He's charging up, but I mean, look at the bruises on the elbows. The sculpt and the musculature. I mean, Eric did a great job of capturing that look of Street Fighter 2. And what the studio did that's kind of new to me. You don't see this often in statues. I've seen it before in some customs, but in a regular production statue, look at the sweat. I mean, they used a really good clear paint, whatever it might be. Like a gloss there to look like sweat and blood dripping down the sides of his lips, cheek, and, his side of his brow there, of his eyebrow. That is just really nicely done. I mean, that just looks like he's sweating for real. He's got sweat on his face. Trying to capture it with the focus on the camera. Sweat on his chin. Sweat under his eyes. I mean, that is one rocky eye right there, battered up and swollen shut. He took a real beat down, possibly from Ken or Akuma, up to your imagination. Losing focus here, sorry about that, I do apologize. But when we do get focus, it does look amazing. I mean, look at that. Look at the beads of sweat on the nose. Look at the reflection of the light with the beads of sweat and the drips of sweat. Such a good job with detail. The gi looks fantastic. Nice, strong magnet. My buddy Alex, I kind of agree with Gio. I think the magnets are pretty strong. I was watching Rad Titan's review on this a while ago, and I think that's perfectly strong. That's not going anywhere. That magnet's not falling out. The magnet on the belt on the gi is also, it looks like it's weak, but it is strong. I think it might be slightly stronger on the other one. Maybe this was the one that Alex was using. It's a little bit weaker, but it does the trick. It's not giving. It's not letting go. It's holding it, but I do have to agree the belts are slightly different for the two different torsos. I do have the right one on here. I've tested them both, and the other one does not sit right with this one. This one does, and this one sits right with this one. I do admit this one is much stronger, so I'm thinking maybe Gio was using this one and Alex was using this one. I could be wrong in their review. I didn't just watch it recently, but I've seen it in the past, and I remember they were having a little banter back and forth about that, and it was kind of entertaining. But I mean, look at the color. Look at the pitting on the gloves. I just noticed something. Wow, that's a variance. Oh, that's pretty cool. The battle damaged Ryu has like the classic red gloves, whereas the non-battle damaged Ryu has the brown gloves. I think the red are more newer for the newer Ryus. Am I gonna say this is the best Ryu ever made? No, I'm not. Am I gonna say this is top 5? Yes. It's definitely a very good Ryu, very good quality. As we saw the box earlier, we see the paint application, the sculpture. It's definitely up there. It's very good quality. The reason I will say it's not, because like I said, I'm more partial to the newer look of Ryu. It's not out yet. I think it will be the best Ryu when it comes out, and that's the 1/3 scale from Pop Culture. That's the battle damaged and the bearded Ryu. I have the bearded battle damaged Ryu and the evil Ryu on order. And also the other Ryu that I think takes the top cake is Erick's original. I still haven't gotten my painted yet, but that thing I've seen painted, and that kit that Erick did was probably right now, I think that's the best Ryu. People are probably gonna argue with me. I love the look of it. I think Erick did such an amazing job on it. I think that kit is the best Ryu out there. This is an amazing Ryu. Do not get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of Ryus, and I'm sorry, but the classic Ryu isn't my favorite Ryu, so I can't say that this is the best Ryu. Is this Ryu freaking amazing? Yes. Yeah, I mean, would I not want this in my collection? I mean, I need this in my collection. I'm happy having this in my collection. And if you're a Street Fighter fan, you are going to love this. Like I said, I just like the different look of Ryu from the modern Ryu. So, and Erick did that look in the first kit, which is why I favor that. And I think that is the best Ryu out on the market right now. And I know that the 1/3 will probably be my favorite when it comes out. But on the market right now, I have to say that is the best Ryu. Although this is amazing and a close third on my list, I'd say. I mean, look at that. Look at the sweat. All right, I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna set you down just for a quick second. I'll leave you looking at the base while I just switch this up and get off the stand. And it's a magnet on the stand as well, by the way. I would love to show you, but I only have 2 hands, and there's no way I'm holding this camera safely and not damaging this beautiful statue with just my 2 hands. So I did have to switch this. I do want to show you one thing. It's a strong magnet, and there's a magnet on the base there. I switch it up. There's the battle damage. And now I'm about to put the... I hate doing this with one hand. I think he's on there. Yeah, he's on there. Okay. Oh, maybe not, actually. Hold on. See, I hate doing it with one hand. There we go. Now he's on there. I am not a fan of doing that while I'm holding the camera. But no casualties here. Now this is the way I like him the best, I'd have to say. This is the pose to the beginning of the game. Before he launches the Hadouken, when he's kind of dancing and going up and down in the beginning. And you see this, you know, it's pretty much this right here. This artwork taken out of the game. But, you know, I'm giving you some crazy special effects here, but he does kind of dance up and down like that as I move the camera to give the effect. This top is just as amazing. No battle damage, but we still see the detail in the face and the paint application and the sweat, the beads of sweat coming down the side of his brow, side of his cheek, his nose. Quite amazing. Did such a good job on this. Such a good digital sculpt done by Mr. Sosa. Very happy with this piece. I mean, we got quite the review of the bottom already. I've already gone over in quite detail. We're 13 minutes in here. But just look at that muscle. I mean, just amazing. Beautiful piece. Loving it. Love how the gi's flown in the wind. I'm sorry, not the gi, the bandana. And his gi actually is flowing in the wind too. It's a very nice nice pose, nice sculpt, nice dynamic action look to it. Very happy with this piece. So, this is your PrototypeZ quarter scale regular Ryu, and I'm loving how it came with that base. It's nice that a lot of the companies are starting to do stuff like that. Actually, like my beautiful legendary scale Predator came with a nice base for the second head. I love that. I love that touch. I love how Mr. Sosa incorporated that with this, and I'm sure he'll probably do it with the Akuma and all the others. It's a very nice touch. Pop Culture is also doing it with their Ultimate Akuma and Shin Akuma now, the 10-year anniversary one. So it's great that these companies are all doing that, and I'm loving it. Very impressed with the quality of this overall. I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. I mean, like I said, there was minor gripes, which this top doesn't have those gripes. So actually this top, it would get a 10 out of 10. Because you don't have the split in the hands. They're nicely connected. Who knows, maybe I even got, I think it was just the way it is, but this, with this torso on top, yeah, gets a 10 out of 10. This thing's beautiful. And I wouldn't take points off something like that because of the kanjis on the belt if that wasn't from Street Fighter 2. Still does not take away from this piece at all. If anything, it adds to it because I do like the look. Because like I said, it's the more modern Ryu belt. So I am very pleased with this piece. Very happy. Thank you, Mr. Sosa. And kudos to PrototypeZ Studios. And much continued success. And keep pumping out these beautiful Street Fighter pieces. Alright, everyone. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your patience in my horrible videography, but I do love bringing these statues to you guys. Have a good evening.